Alright, welcome to the solution for question 2 for this week's lab. So for this one we asked you to do a little bit of math, and so we want you to ask the user for the year that they were born and calculate how old they would turn this year. So I'm recording this in 2019. If you're viewing this in the future, substitute your own year for when I type 2019. And then to display a particular message. So just starting with the basics, so again we know that we're going to need to input something, get some input from the user, and then presumably store it. So I'm just going to call the variable birth year because that makes sense to me. And so that'll be input, and then the question, what year were you born? Or however you want to phrase the question. Right, because we can't do anything until we know what year the person was born, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. And then we're going to calculate their age by subtracting, or how old they will turn this year, by subtracting their birth year from the current year. So age equals, and I'm just going to type in 2019, you type in whatever year you wanted to, minus birth year. So at this point, again, right, I've typed some stuff. I should test to make sure that it works. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to run it, and it's going to ask me for the year I was born. I'm going to lie and say 1900, and I get an error. Oh no, what have I done? So the message I'm getting is type error, unsupported operand types for int and string. So operand means, addition, subtraction, means we're trying to do something with those symbols. And then int and string. Okay, so it's also telling us that this is on line 11. So you can go back and look at our code and see that line 11 is the line where we're doing the math. Well, there's only 3 things here, and there's nothing wrong with age equals. I'm just going to tell you that right now. The problem is that 2019 is an int, and birth year is a string, because remember, everything that you get from input is by default a string unless you tell it something else. So we need to convert birth year into an integer. And if you remember from the slides, the way that we do that is we wrap everything, we wrap the input statement in an int statement, which means that it'll get the input from the user and then convert it into an integer. So now that we've made that change, we can save it, we can run it again, and we can type in the year, and nothing happens. Did we do something wrong? Nope. This is good. We didn't get an error message, but nothing else prints because we didn't tell it to print anything. A lot of people, when they first start programming, they kind of think, okay, well, I've calculated the year, or the age, or whatever I've calculated, it'll show me that. But really, it won't show you anything unless you tell it to print, right? So now that we've calculated the age, we can say print age, and that should then give us the solution for that'll show whether we've calculated the age correctly. So what year was I born? I'm 119. Hooray me. But it printed that, so that's perfect. So now that we have that, we can start modifying this print statement so that it prints, I hope you have a great birthday when you turn blah. So, because we want to literally print the phrase, and actually I'm not even going to type this out, I'm just going to copy and paste it. I hope you have a great birthday when you turn, space, copy, paste, and I'm going to get rid of that new line there so you can see it all in one line. I'm going to make the window bigger so you can see everything. Alright, so when you turn, and then plus age, will this work? I mean, we've only added a little bit to the print statement, so if you run, we can run the module. It asks for the year I was born. Just gonna push this up to the front so you can see it. The year I was born, 1900. Oh, another type error. So this is because all print statements can only print strings. I don't know why Python decided to go with that, but they did, so here we are. So basically what has to happen is we have to turn age back into a string. Just pull up that part. So age has to be a string again before we can print it. So just like you convert the input into an int by wrapping it around with those int in parentheses, we can turn age into a string by wrapping it with str and parentheses. So if we save that, run it, the instructions pop back up. What year was I born? 1900. I hope I have a great birthday when I turn 119 also. So that's how you would do it. There's a few variations here. You could do something like, current year equals 2019, and then subtract birth year from current year. Some people like to do it that way. It feels a little bit cleaner, and that's fine. Both will absolutely work. So yeah, if you got tripped up on the type thing, that's okay. It takes a little getting used to, and Python is very flexible about some things and less flexible about others, and it just takes some getting used to figure out what those things are. Alright, but that's how you would do part 2, so I will see you again for part 3.